Hi, I'm Camila Pensamiento.
I'm Summer Hamzeh.
And our classic is titled Tea.
By Layla Shati.
5 times a day I make tea. I do this because I like the warmth in my hands.
Like the feeling of self-directed kindness.
I'm not used to it. Warmth
and kindness.
Both. So I create my own when I can.
It's easy. You just pour water into a kettle and turn the knob and listen for the scream.
I do this 5 times a day.
Sometimes, when I'm pleased, I let out a little sound.
A poet noticed this, and it made me feel I might one day properly be loved. Because no one is here to love me, I make tea for myself and leave the radio playing.
I must remind myself I am here and do so by noticing myself.
My feet are cold inside my socks. They touch the ground, my stomach churns, my heart stutters, in my hands I hold a warmth I make.
I come from a people who pray 5 times a day and make tea. I admire the way they do both, how they drop to the ground wherever they are, drop pine nuts and mint sprigs in a glass.
I think to care for the self is a kind of prayer. It is a gesture of devotion toward what is not always beloved or believed. I do not always believe in myself or love myself.
I am sure there are times I am bad or gone or lying.
In another's mouth, tea often means gossip, but sometimes means truth.
Despite the trope, in my experience, my people do not lie for pleasure or when they should, even when it might be a gesture of kindness. But they are kind. If you were to visit, a woman would bring you a tray of tea at any time of day. My people love tea so much it was once considered a sickness. Their colonizers tried, as with any joy, to snuff it out.
They feared a love so strong one might sell or kill their other loves for leaves and sugar.
Teaism sounds like a kind of faith I'd buy into, a God I wouldn't fear.
I think now, I truly believe I wouldn't kill anyone for love, not even myself. Most days, I can barely get out of bed, so I make tea. I stand at the window while I wait.
My feet are cold, and the radio plays its little sounds.
I do the small thing I know how to do, to care for myself.
I am trying to notice joy.
I do this, which means survive. I do this all day, and then the next. And our response is titled,
Tea Garden.
My grandmother makes tea instead of crying.
I love yensun. Love the way the seeds turn the boiling water a soft yellow. Love the way my people offer it with hands clasped.
She hands us food instead of missing her brothers and kisses our foreheads as if we were her sisters.
My grandmother made me yensun with her sister's seeds, gifted to soothe my 1-year-old wailing stomach. Now it serves to comfort my wailing mind.
When I was younger, I would get off the bus and into my grandpa's car where my grandmother would be waiting with fresh homegrown fruit. She grew plants to fill her need to nurture.
I'd like more yensun, but the tea in our house is scarce. I can't go back to my ravaged countries, so the tea sits on the shelf for as long as my grandmother's sister has been gone, 15 years.
My grandmother spends hours outside, weeding and watering and caring. My favorite parts of summer are when she invites me to see her plants. It makes me feel closer to her, like she isn't hiding.
I'd like to think I come from beautiful places, peaceful places, but as my grandmothers, both of them, have been forced to flee Syria, forced to flee Lebanon, I'm forced to reevaluate my perceptions.
My grandmother was torn from her home, El Salvador, where the soil is mixed with volcanic rock, perfect for growing things, but America turned that soil into sand, much too soft to protect her roots from civil war.
My grandmother's too, no civil war, no rubble and ruin and remains, and silence. The world's silence.
My grandmother never talks about the war and its atrocities, the night raids that hunted my grandfather, the open fire that filled her streets with the bodies of her neighbors. I come from a place of war and corruption.
So I'll drink the chamomile that my grandfather has made, and I'll pretend it's Yansun to preserve the last seeds of my great-aunt's legacy.
And I hope that my roots have grown deep enough to make her proud, make my grandmother proud, and that the fruit I have grown is sweet enough to share.
And I'll try not to worry about my grandfather's age, or how Syria suffers in silence. Lebanon lays in loss. And I'll ignore the rugs of time that rub my palms raw, threads of thought I can never quite catch. We do not know much about our countries or our people, but we carry their life within us. A legacy through tea.
A dream held in roots.